Hello, welcome to Ask the Expert. I'm Ted Craig, editor-in-chief of Restoration Remediation Magazine, and my guest today is Joe Tolzmann, founder and CEO of Rocket Technologies, Inc. Joe, tell us about your company.
Thanks, Ted. Awesome to be here. Thanks for hosting. As you said, my name is Joe Tolzmann. I'm the founder and CEO of RocketPlan. RocketPlan is a mobile-first solution for property restoration insurance claims professionals with a big focus on field first. So we build RocketPlan to help restoration contractors run their business from a mobile device. The challenge in the industry is to document the damages, process all the information for reporting, estimating, and billing, because everything happens in the field. That's why we took this approach to build something that works for people in the field. Ultimately, reduce over 50% in admin and management labor and streamline the entire claim cycle.
And how is the demand for your services?
It's incredible. We're exploding. We're really experiencing this explosive growth. Every company, whether it's the international franchise or a family-run business, everybody's got the challenge of gathering data from the field, connecting it to the office. As nature of the business is to respond to the emergency call, show up on site, not fully understanding what's the extent of the damage before that inspection is done. With the inspection, document all the damages to be able to report insurance companies, but also to understand what's the full extent of the damage, to determine what scope of work needs to be conducted, how many people need to be involved, what kind of equipment. So everything happens on the fly. And traditionally speaking, it becomes a huge bottleneck of gathering the data and then processing it throughout the process.
How did it come about to found this company? What got you into it?
So I'll give you my 2-minute life story for the context. So I came to Canada in 2003 to visit my parents right after I got out of military in Croatia. When I landed, couldn't speak a word of English. So I figured I need a job where I'm going to interact with people, practice, and get comfortable with it. So I got a job at Dairy Queen. I worked there for 7-8 months. It was incredible experience to communicate with people and practice and eventually get comfortable. So from there on, I started doing renovation, repairs, eventually build up the company to do some new real estate developments. I've done some of my own. Business was good until 2008, and then the world fell apart with global recession. I got pretty lucky at the time. I locked in a contract that kept us busy for 2 years fixing leaky condos. And in 2010, that dried out. The economy was not great. So it was really hard to get jobs in those sectors. And I was pretty lucky developing relationships with property managers. So they were asking us, can we do emergency response, flood and fire restoration? So it's insurance type work, it's recession proof, it goes on throughout. So I was very attracted to it. So I started restoration company with 2 other guys. We grew it to over 100 employees with branches in Vancouver and Calgary. When I started, I was the person taking the calls, showing up, middle of the night on a weekend, during hours, after hours, responding to those emergencies, doing inspection, getting authorizations, documenting photos, notes, getting crew going, determining scope of work, equipment, and so on. Then after hours, I would go home, organize the data, do the reports, do estimating, sometimes even billing. So I was able to carry that load. But as we grew, we hired more and more people. We started implementing different software, went through implementation of the 3 software available for this vertical to realize none of them really worked because they were built before smartphones really became smart. Mm-hmm. So it was challenged getting data from the field and getting that into the system. It was always delayed. It was always unclear, lots of errors. We missed rooms. We missed sometimes even whole apartments because the data was coming from multiple people. And it was just challenging to get it into the system to see it in one place. So one day I figured, it's got to be a better way. And I decided to hire software engineers. So we built something that works for people in the field. And I wanted that software engineer to understand dynamics between different stakeholders, the crew in the field, people in the office, but then also external stakeholders, from property managers to insurance adjusters to carriers, sometimes even insurance brokers, ultimately homeowners and tenants, to streamline this whole process of getting the data in one place and then delivering it to whoever needs it in the chain. So that worked really well for us. Business was growing. We were scoring new business because adjusters and property managers, they preferred to work with us because we were able to provide them information that makes their jobs easier. So we cut out over 50% in admin and management labor, but then I realized that everybody in the industry's got the same problem. So it's a systematic issue throughout, and then I decided to start RocketPlan.
Okay, great. So you talked about the personal relationships that helped you in your business to get through a rough time. How does RocketPlan help in maintaining those type of relationships and growing those type of relationships for contractors?
So the key thing is to provide the information to other stakeholders involved in a timely manner, accurately, so it eliminates all the confusion. It saves everybody's time, ultimately reduces stress, and it makes everybody's life easier. It makes companies more efficient, more profitable. So we really took this approach where we wanted to provide the best working environment for people involved, whether it's our internal in restoration, external stakeholders, also provide the best service to the homeowner, property owner, to get their lives back to normal quicker by streamlining this whole claim cycle. And then also insurance adjusters and carriers to have full transparency into what happened. So it eliminates any doubts, any confusions. It's pretty clear. So
Great. You're in Canada. Where is RocketPlan available?
Throughout globally. So we're based out of Vancouver, British Columbia, but also in Palo Alto, California.
Okay. And what are some of the latest upgrades you've made to the system?
So we started with like ground zero, showing up on site, getting work authorizations on the spot, documenting damages, photos, infrared camera photos, documenting the damages, what's damaged, floor, wall, ceiling, what type of wall is it, interior, exterior, firewall, because that makes a big difference in scoping and estimating ultimately. Running equipment, how many dehumidifiers we need for which unit, which room, it's always different. How many days they need to run, it's based on ISCRC standard and atmospheric readings to reach that level of drying. So that's all built throughout the workflow, and bringing it up to getting all the backup information for reporting. So it's click of a button, reports are done. Estimators who are working off the data, it's all clearly organized, project unit room, so there's no confusion. Extremely valuable when you have multiple people gathering the data in the field, but everything falls into one place. So it makes it super efficient for estimators, then also for accountants to do their billing, have all the information in one place, click of a button, all the reports are there. So we're taking the step further to get project costing, streamlined payroll processing for the companies, integration with accounting software and so on.
So that's the next phase, is integrating with accounting.
Yes.
Great. Do you find after the pandemic that people are more open to technological solutions like yours?
Absolutely. Yeah. The world changed, and yeah, I think it was for the better.
Okay. How easy, I mean, I'm sure you say very easy, but how easy is it for the guys in the field to use your software? And what sort of training do you provide to support that?
So we took this approach to eliminate the training, and it was really emphasized on building it so simple. If the person can take a selfie or they can send SMS text, it's that easy, because people are already on the job. We wanted to make sure that it doesn't require training. We don't want a person in the field do the scope of work if they've never done it, because doing scope of work on a desktop, it's pretty big undertaking, let alone on a mobile device, let alone people who don't even do scopes of work. So we made sure that we build this feature for the person. If they're already running equipment, they know their job. They're familiar with using smartphone features, so they don't need a training. Like, it's as easy as getting into it, figuring it out on the spot. So the whole process of onboarding company, whether it's 1 employee or 100 employees, it takes about 14 minutes to walk through all the features and be ready to go.
And it runs on any smartphone or tablet that the company happens to be using?
Yes. So we focus on building it to work well on a mobile device, on a mobile phone, because every person these days has a mobile phone, so it doesn't require additional device just to use RocketPlan.
Okay, great. What about security? A lot of people are concerned about security these days. What sort of security features do you have built in, especially as you start to get into accounting and things like that?
Yeah, it's a standard procedure, AWS, Amazon Web Services, so it's the highest levels of security.
Okay, great, great. And what is your target customers? What size of firms are you targeting, or does it range from the smallest to the biggest?
It's everyone. Recently, we had one of the largest, globally the largest restoration companies come on board. And for the very same reason as individual family-owned businesses, getting the data from the field into one place so they can streamline their operation. So it's a very systematic issue throughout the industry, and yeah, we're able to solve the problem from the ground up.
Great. And we talked a little bit about your growth prospects, but where do you see RocketPlan by the end of this year, by the end of 2023?
So we are working with several large franchises, and we definitely want to get more feedback from people in the field to see what else we can do for them to streamline this whole process. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We just want to solve problems that haven't been solved yet.
So a lot of this is driven by customer input.
Absolutely, yeah. User experience and people who are on the job.
And how do you collect that input?
We have a streamlined process where people can request features and suggestions without even talking to us, so we get it on the other end. But we're really spending a lot of time talking to people in the field using it to make sure that what we're building, it actually works for them in a way that it's very intuitive.
Okay, great. Well, I think you've answered all my questions. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, this is great, and really appreciate the opportunity meeting you, and thanks for hosting.
Great. Well, thank you for being our guest. Once again, it's RocketPlan. Oh, what if people are interested, how can they find out more?
They can go on rocketplantech.com.
Okay.
And they can get in touch with me and our team, for in-person demo, or they can just try it out. It's super intuitive. It will take no time for them to realize what RocketPlan can do for them.
Great. Excellent. Well, thank you, Joe, for being our guest today.
Thank you.